Morning, everybody. How are you?
Good.
Good, thank you. Okay, you know what? I'm really struggling here on stage because several different things. The first one is that all the pitches before mine have been great, and I'm struggling about that. That's the first reason. And the second and most important reason is that I'm the man in the middle. I get a special talent for being the man in the middle. And that talent, it's a huge disaster because what comes after me is music, food, and drinks. So I think that the best way of impacting you today is just being brief. So I'll try to do that, okay? Well, my pitch today is about creative capital and why they have failed. Because you always read on papers that entrepreneurs fail, that entrepreneurs, we don't know how to pitch, we don't know how to raise capital, we don't know how to sell. But what about failure in venture capitalists? They fail big time, much more than entrepreneurs, believe me. And there's one reason, and that reason it's something related to the history and something related to the fallacy of security. Please let me introduce you George Doriot. George, the audience. North Americans says that they started the venture capitalist market with George Doriot. George was a French guy, born in Paris, then he was an immigrant and studied in Harvard Business School in North America, in Boston. And he founded a company called American Research and Development Corporation. Do you know this company? It was a company created to encourage the private sector to invest in companies run by veterans from the World War II. It was like a non-profit organization. Well, they wanted to have a lot of profit, but wanted also to get all that soldiers into the market. A great idea. And this guy managed to do a first home run. Do you know Digital? This company was the first company creating home PCs, home computers. The company run by Doriot invested $70,000 in the company. And do you know how much percentage of how many shares he get? 70%. Almost everything, almost all the company. It was a home run, believe me, because when this company went public, the investors get 500 times their investment. It's a very good investment. In just, look, from 1957 till 1978, 11 years. Do a simple math. It's incredible. I don't agree with them. And this is the first failure of venture capitalist market. Because, you know, this sounds like the American dream. A French immigrant studied in a business school with a lot of, businesses running, investing, and getting a huge success. I disagree. I disagree big time. I got a couple of goals today. The first one was talking about the fallacy of security here, but the second one is a claim. And I do apologize for the claim because may, wound somebody, but the history is that the first home run was made better in Spanish. Yeah. Woo! Woo! Come on! Can you remember Isabel I de Castilla? And I won't translate the name because I said George and not Jorge. Isabel I de Castilla didn't study in a business school. He was queen. When she was 18 years old, he was a queen, and he was queen for 12 years. And do you remember Cristobal Colón? This guy went to Isabel I de Castilla and said, I want to sail to the west to get to India. I need money, I need food, I need an army, I need everything to discover this, to get to the new world, sailing to the west. And he was the real game changer. This is a real home run. Discovered that the earth was round and not flat. Discovered that there was a brand new world full of wealthy and future, and made the world change dramatically. This is a real home run. So a really quick poll. Which one of these two examples do you think is the first venture capital home run? This one? Yes. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there any North American on the back? Okay, I do think this was the first real home run. And let's continue. I just finished my claim, so I'm gonna go through the theory behind what is behind these two huge successes. If you read about venture capitalists and private equity, you will find that all the huge successes took place between boom and bust cycles, between wars, between huge leverage buyouts, between non-credit situation and huge credit situation, like maybe today. The home runs was done, as I told you, normally after wars. When Isabel I de Castilla founded Cristóbal Colón, the Muslims were trying to conquer Spain. It was a real hard war. Isabel I de Castilla didn't have any money because they had to expend all the money in the army to reconquer the Spanish territory, the Granada kingdom. Do you think the main reason for these successes was that they improved what existed? Obviously, they improved what existed. That's obvious. Do they think they got small capital? They both had small capital. And even there was, Luis Santangel was the first business angel in history, under my opinion. Paying money or giving money to Cristóbal Colón because Isabel I de Castilla didn't have enough money to fund him. No. These two home runs has the same reasons behind them, but this is not the real important thing. The real reason why they succeeded is different. And I'm trying to today do some inference to get the idea behind this. Imagine you are Isabel I de Castilla, okay? And I am Cristóbal Colón, and I say, okay, you know what? I think I can manage to get to the India sailing to the west. And Isabel I de Castilla, that was a clever queen, said, okay, let's make a market research. Before investing in the company, okay, because I got a business plan, let's make a market research. How many expeditions did return? No. Okay, is the world flat? 90% of the people then thought that. 10% thought that the Earth was twice or three times the distance between India and Spain and Europe. And okay, if you sail to the west, what happened? You find dragons. The hell? It's a disaster sailing to the west. Okay, honestly speaking, if you were Isabel I de Castilla, how many of you would have give money for me? Come on, raise your hands. No, probably no. This is a clear fallacy of security. As known expeditions return, there's no success. There's no a new world sailing to the west. The world is flat. Let's go to the 50s and to the computer markets. You can find here an IBM machine, an IBM computer in a huge room. expensive, big, glass encased mainframes, difficult to operate, and only one company making money on computers. That was the situation on the 50s. And somebody said, if you don't manage to get prices below $25,000 per machine, there won't be a market for the computer, for home computers. There's no room for computers in your houses. Okay, the common thing that happened in these two investments was that they didn't invest on predictions. And that's really, really interesting because there's an entrepreneurial fallacy that thinks that, okay, if you get a business plan and you get resources, you know people, you get money, you're a politician, whatever, based on your predictions, you will have success. And this is a real fallacy. This is not true. Believe me, I have founded several different companies. I have had some success, I have had big failures, and all the failures took place when I did huge investment of time trying to figure out how the market will behave. Instead of going to the market and say, okay, this is a test, give feedback to me. That was the real difference. So in all the entrepreneurial processes, you must reshape and learn from the market, because there's a huge difference from your first idea to the idea you finally get success. There's a huge, huge difference. But you know what happens when you go to a venture capitalist and say, you know what, I did this business plan, and I said I was going to get these milestones, but I went to the market and I failed. So I have reshaped my business plan. Give me please more money. You know what happens? It's as funny as going to a bank today to say, give me money because I'm gonna start up a company. It's the same. They don't agree with you at all. This is the rate of failure in venture capitalist firms today. I'm right now funding a venture capital fund. It's gonna be hard, but you know, I'm like a little kid. So I'm very, very excited about getting this 0.6 success rate to my fund. What happens in this way of mindset, that trust in business plans, is that instead of investing in venture capital, they invest in micro private equity. And there's a big difference, because you're not investing in a market, you're investing usually in an emerging market that is there's a slight difference between two markets. You know what, every time you try to industrialize a creative market, you usually fail. And this is what had happened in the venture capital market. It's a creative capital market. You have to be creative, and you have to step over and reshape and do ideas improve over the time, and don't trust on business plans. How can you think that a business plan can manage these two statements? To look for India could make you find America. There's no business plan that can support this statement. And it's not worth being the first, but better taking advantage on resources. This is something that you can find in business plans usually, but nobody knows the secret sauce of doing it. And the secret sauce is just testing with the market and listening to the market and reshaping your idea. So it's necessary that the venture capital firms mind shift their minds, to get success. To avoid the fallacy of security when investing in startups, you should follow these instructions, this methodology that is quite simple. It's the secret sauce, my giveaway for you today. That is, okay, don't think and write it down. Just go outside, try something, learn. And learn because when you try something, you expect something, but you normally get something totally different. Learn why there was that different. Reshape your ideas and go back to the point number one until you get success. This is the only secret sauce for succeeding when starting up. And if you're a venture capitalist, this is the only secret sauce to work alone with entrepreneurs and having success. Thank you.